What's up, y'all? What's up? Oh, is my mic good? Yes, it is. We're back.
What's up? We're back. It's React and Draw. We have returned once again. How you doing, big guy? What's up?
Doing pretty good. A little exhausted as usual, but I'm doing pretty good.
It's the struggle. The struggle.
Life struggles.
But we're here. And we're here with two brand new topics right now. First, we'll be talking about
I guess we could talk about
the
any which one first.
yeah, I mean, we have two topics today. I'm just going over what the topics are. As you can see, the first is just talking about in general the difference between video games and comics, and especially, more specifically mainstream comics and video games.
Right.
Cause and this topic book and why is one more popular than the other? How has I don't know, video games have captured the imagination of the youth and they know more about the and care more about the comic book characters in a video game
Yes.
rather than their comic book origins at all. Like they'll know about Miles Morales more about his video game character than his comic book character. They'll know more about Spider-Man Peter Parker in this new Spider-Man 2 game and not care about what's going on with him currently. Why is that going on? In fact, the way that and this happened because I was looking up news from like comic book resources,
Mm-hmm.
one of these mainstream comic book websites, and I was trying to find out what was going on in more specifically the Comic Con that happened in San Diego,
Yeah.
where Hollywood dipped out, so now it could just be focused on comics. And the first article I found was talking about this Spider-Man 2 video game and the lore and mystery around it, and the new characters is going to be there. And I'm just like, is this a comic book website? Like, why? And they did it because they knew it would get the click. You know, that's it. They know that people love video games. They're gonna promote video games, even though it's a comic book website.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like tangentially related because it's a video game based off a comic book.
Yes.
But still, it's like I'm just looking for news, bro. I'm looking for like a panel of like anybody with an original comic book, with the PowerPoint presentation with their pages on it to talk about, I don't know, their like it's the second coming, like why I should buy this book, and instead I'm just reading about video games.
I mean, it's in the thumbnail. To be
What do you
honest.
mean? Oh, the answers?
Yeah. You get
Yeah,
this. You play a video game. You get this, right?
right.
Now, Brina's in the chat. What's up? You get this. You read the combo. You get this, man. So
Yeah, I guess Spider-Man is like a very pointed example here
I mean,
because
it's a very direct. I mean, this is. I mean, we're
yeah.
really talking about this topic in a broad sense. Like, you know, most video games are gonna catch the attention of of multiple eyes more than a comic book. Now, didn't used to be
Mhm.
like growing up in the '80s and the '90s, and I know like gaming has had big advancements, but comic books always made sure to put their best foot forward into delivering the most ex, exciting entertainment. It's in the '90s. You had the Image guys, X Force, Young Blood, Bow Chasers. Like there was no we. In fact, I don't want to crap on people's games here or anything because I didn't play it, but I know they had that Bow Chasers game. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't know how well it did, but like the comic always trumped the game to me. But I think that's because like I'm kind of tired of turn-based RPGs. But nevertheless, like yeah, games did not used to trump comic books because comic books used to make sure they put the most exciting thing that they can in the pages to capture your eyes. Now, of course, games is kind of like a weird medium because they're always going to make it more interactive and more exciting. And I guess eventually they'll surpass something like comics. But the only thing is you have to be interactive with it. Uh, And I'm not sure. I said something that Dan and I were talking before stream, and I wonder, and I don't know if I'm wrong, and I might be wrong, that in Japan, at least for like their direct counterparts, I don't think like the like manga and anime is getting their butt beat by like their game. Like they're probably getting their butt beat by games in general, but like I don't know if like the Naruto game is like kicking Naruto manga's butt. I don't think it is.
No,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that to be true. And I understand, like in a video game, there's less of a barrier to entry insofar as you don't gotta learn how to read as like have the reading comprehension to play a video game,
Mhm.
and it's a one-time purchase, so it's less of a commitment than buying a bunch of manga.
Right.
Although mangas are cheaper, you pay like what, like $14, $15 for like 100 something pages or so,
Yeah.
150, 200 pages max. I don't know.
Right.
So you get a lot for your value than as opposed to an American comic.
Right. Right. That's
But
true.
still, but still, like people still will buy the Naruto and value the Naruto story in comic form and in anime form than the video game. Like I mean, and I mean, even if they made like a great video game or something, like I don't know, I feel like they would at least run alongside each other.
Yeah.
And even if a video game like made ridiculous money or something, they wouldn't be too far behind. Let's just put it that way. The comics
Yeah.
version.
Like what came out? Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball game, Dragon Ball Fighters, and I know there's like a
Mhm.
new Tenkai. Oh, or was it Budokai? I can't remember. One of them is coming back with a part three. Forgive my ignorance on that topic, and yeah, people are going to buy those games. They're going to love it. They're going to love those games, and they're still going to run back to the manga and anime. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, did you see the new story? Because also because well, the comics and the anime, or more so the manga that comes out first, is going to advance the story. The games are not going to advance the story. The manga will always advance the story. I don't know what story this is being advanced right here. They're being advanced straight up to. Look, he's looking at us right now, judging us right now. Saying,
Paul, Mary Jane's true love. Paul. I mean, you read something like that and you hope it does not advance the story, even though it is. So you just buy the video game and forget that that's going on. In fact, you'll probably talk more about the video game, hoping that that will be the official lore if you meme it enough on the internet.
it's kind of
It's
sad
definitely,
too. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
because it's definitely more preferable than this. Like the thing is, though, like with anime and with manga, like the stories eventually will end or could end.
Yeah.
At
No,
least it
you're
gives you the
absolutely.
impression that it might end. I mean, Dragon Ball, I don't know if it'll end. It'll probably just keep going past Toriyama's death or something, but
Yeah, probably.
at least like it still like moves forward in a direction that doesn't like.
It moves forward and it's not rebooting.
Yes,
Okay, it rebooted one time. GT.
that's true.
Well, actually, that wasn't even a reboot. It was just like it was a continuation of the story, but I guess through testing, they found people didn't like it. GT actually ended too. Like it ended the story of Dragon Ball, and then people were like, "Yo, we don't."
Super is the reboot, right?
No, it's kind of like how can I explain it? It was Dragon Ball Z, right? And then it was Dragon
Hmm.
Ball GT that happens right after Z.
Yeah,
And that was supposed to be the natural progression, and then GT ended, and that was the end of Dragon Ball. But then people were like, "We don't like GT at all," so they said retcon GT, and now after Dragon Ball Z is Super.
that's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I
I
thought
mean,
you
it's not
meant.
a reboot. I should say. Sorry, it's the
Oh, like
No, I
yeah,
don't know
like
what
a
to call it
retcon.
now.
Yeah. It's a.
Yeah,
It's a. It's a. Right. It's a GT retcon or
yeah,
something.
it's like one of those movies, like like that Terminator Dark Fate that ignored all the sequels
Yeah.
except for like
Exactly.
1 and 2. Of course, they shouldn't have because Terminator Dark Fate sucked, but It was the worst Terminator film. So it doesn't always work out like that, but people
Right.
enjoy this now. They enjoy the Super, and the movies are good. I saw the last one; it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see here,
Yeah,
because
let's see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, Brina in the chat says you got amazing Spider-Man, spectacular Spider-Man. Oh, it didn't show up on here. It says you got amazing Spider-Man, spectacular Spider-Man, ultimate Spider-Man. Like where the F am I supposed to start? Forget all the other Western comics. Yeah, that's true. That's another thing too. They make it very difficult to follow. They should pick one, and it used to be that way.
mm-hmm.
Now, you know, back in the day, they just had like Action Comics and like maybe Superman. There was like two titles for like
Mm,
Superman. And Batman, there was like Batman and Detective Comics or something. They had two. X-Men just had the Uncanny X-Men, one comic for decades. Then in the 90s, when Jim Lee became super popular, the artist, they decided to double dip and get two. And they said Uncanny X-Men and X-Men.
right.
And they had Jim Lee draw X-Men and Will Sportatio draw Uncanny X-Men. Then eventually both those artists left left Marvel and went and formed their own company. So it was like now they just have these two books they got to keep going and stuff. And it was selling, but then suddenly Spider-Man needed like 12 books, and it was just like, oh my goodness, just with the same name, which makes it like difficult to follow because they know they only have like one character, a few characters that really like bring in the readers.
Yeah.
So instead of like making new other characters to bring in the readers, they just like make different versions of the same book, which makes it harder for, I guess, newbies to come in and follow the adventures.
Yeah. Hayes here, what's up? Says, is that Paul? Where are his bruises? I don't know. This was before he got slapped up by Mary Jane. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So Brina has a point there. Like,
Oh,
you want to read a manga, you start with number one, and it just goes on from there. We want to start. I mean, you probably will not be able in your lifetime to finish One Piece or like get up to where it is right now, starting from the beginning.
yeah.
But if you wanted to, you could try.
Brina.
It says, used to be that way, Dan, but I grew up at a time when there were 50 first issues of these iconic characters. Oh, believe me, yeah, I grew up in a time when that was happening too. I'm just saying, like, there was a time, but before my time.
Right. Once was a time.
Once upon a time, maybe like in the 60s or the 70s or something like that. And then the 80s started getting weird. In the 90s, it was just full blown chaos. And then the 2000s, it was just whatever.
I think this comment right here is the actual summary of this whole topic.
Right.
So,
It says that's why people go to the cartoons and games for the American comic stuff. I guess true because that's
and
that way.
even the movies.
Yes, that's true. The movie's very, very easy to follow. There's only three of them. Whatever. Three Iron Mans. They think Spider-Man's, but at least there were three with one actor, ended.
Right.
Two
Now,
with another, ended. Three with a new actor.
now you might get stuff like the movies where that are starting to be freaking trash, like whole Phase 4 was trash.
And this whole DC
However,
thing.
at least they were this is where DC messed up because like they have like three alternate universes going on, and I'm like, you why is the DC universe acting like they doing comic books? Like it's
Yeah,
like just
exactly.
making number one of this Batman number one, but we also gonna have a Batman over here, and then we're gonna have a third Joker over here, not connected to the other Joker. I'm like, what? You're acting like comic book. Stop it. But anyway, back to MCU. MCU sucks now, but at least they took the lore of the comic books and made their own sub lore before they started adding all this multiverse crap. They made their own lore, like they have their own set thing, and that's what these games do. Like they'll the Arkham series I was talking about before the stream started. Now I didn't play every Arkham game.
Hmm.
I played the last one, that came out, Arkham Knight. I heard the first two were great. I played Arkham Knight. That game was fantastic. It has its own set story. They take Batman villains. They have some kind of artistic freedom. They make sure not to stray too far, but you know, it's kind of like when Christopher Nolan took Batman and made his own contained story. They make their own contained stories in these games, and people love them, and they make a lot of freaking money. Uh, and in the comic books, I mean, hold on, let me see what Faye's saying right here. Da, 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 da. Copy, copy, copy is their current day strategy, if you call it. You mean copy, Faye? Do you mean like copy as in? What is it? Oh, sorry. Actually, elaborate on copy. So yeah, I don't start One Piece or Bleach or Naruto or Detective Conan. You'll be reading that forever. Yeah, that's why I haven't started One Piece as well. I'm not trying to. I don't have enough. Brina says American comics got a lot of problems, but that number system, that was the foundation that turned the whole generation to manga, in my opinion. Yeah, because manga ends.
Yeah.
And guess what else ends? These games. They end. Like
The end and
the
then
Arkham
start.
trilogy is over.
Right. And then they'll bring back new versions like manga, like they'll have a new version, or like a anime will like just start a new version over again.
Right.
Not that you need like 80 reboots of like an American character and stuff, like, but at least start with a numbering system.
Yeah.
I in fact like the fact that the numbering system was high. Like like you would see like, oh, Detective Batman number issue 200 something. I'd be like, wow, that it made up to 200. That's pretty cool that it's that successful. Like, in fact, the higher the number was just more proof that it's of the popularity of the comic.
They were adding to the lore instead of rebooting the lore, which is what
Right.
comics are now doing.
But then what happened was it's like they love to just have number ones, Americans, because they're more collectible in the store.
Right.
So they know the fans will run out and buy a number one and then put it in a glass case and never read it again because they think it's going to be super popular in the future. And you issue like 697 of Uncanny X-Men, they'll be like, I don't need to run out to buy that one.
But it's
Because they're
kind
all
of a,
like desperate to look new and fresh. They think like a large number makes them look like an old person at the club or something.
I don't know, that joint kind of, if we, as a matter of fact, I like, you know, part of this conversation was us talking about like the mainstream comics versus video games, in particular the video game adaptations of their stuff, because they will do self-contained adventures of these characters, like, you know, Spider-Man up here, and you know. However, getting into video games in general, let's think about something like Mega Man, as opposed to a comic book. Mega Man, to my knowledge, did not have any severe reboot. Have y'all ever tried to follow Mega Man? So Mega Man 1 to 8, there might have been a 9. I think there was a 9. And then it starts to, and then the lore goes to Mega Man X and it propels into the future. And now it's a whole new robot named X and his friend Zero, and how Zero used to be like a bad guy and they turned him good. And then they have their adventures versus what was his name, Sigma. And then they go into the future again, and now it's Mega Man Zero, and now it's like, oh, X is gone, and now Zero has to continue. Like, there's so much continuation. They just build lore upon lore upon lore. People like that. People like that because it's like one continuous story. Hey, look at the Resident Evil. You know how many missteps Resident Evil has had? Oh, that game was fire. Oh, that game sucked. That game was fire. That game sucked. And Capcom was like, damn, that's unfortunate. Anyway, this means we have to make the next one better, and they just keep going.
So also, I guess the advantage that video games have now is that they've changed since back in the day. I mean, back in the day, you couldn't pack in that much story in a video game, that much narrative in a video game. I mean, maybe like an RPG or something like Final Fantasy or something like that, but not like in every single game. You can have cutscenes and stuff. get some lore out that way. Now they have like voice actors, and it's like, they have these actors reading like thousands and thousands of pages of dialogue.
Right.
So it can get pretty involved. It's longer than movies in terms of like story content and like dialogue and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And I guess it's active. So like the kids are like, and people are just like mashing the buttons, and the dopamine hit you're getting from like your character like punching something in the head
Right.
is something like, I guess, you're not going to get from comics, which actually I guess you need like a little more imagination to get out of it. It's like a little more work. Like you have to read and then actually like fill in the transitions between the panels a little bit. Like not it's not a lot of work either. It's like picture books. It's like if you can read a
Right.
children's book, a comic book is no problem. Like, but I guess even that is like more than and also the comics are expensive. I mean, these comic books are like $4, $5 now for like 22 pages
Mm-hmm.
of some art that you may or may not like, because they're like fooling you on the cover. They'll have like some superstar artist or something like, Jessica Campbell or Art Germ on the cover. Then when you open it up, it's like, booty juice or something. It's like, or like Brina says, booty steam. Maybe, right?
Right.
Or you get a storyline like, Spider-Man getting I don't know, played out by Paul, some
This man.
weird storyline where like Peter Parker is trapped is missing in another dimension, pops out, and suddenly his wife is married to this dude.
Stories that nobody want to see.
And then they're just like, $5, please, money, please. Like, and you're like, no. In fact, and then they're gonna be like, yeah, we're running this story for the next 10 months, whether you like it or not. So, and then if you take all the $5 for 10 months, that's $50. You can go buy the video game and not deal with this. Then you
I,
can go talk about it with your friends online. And then they're probably writing fan fiction based off of the video game. They'll mine a lot of content out of that video game than they will buying this. It's kind of interesting. It's not as easy as it was before. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the 90s, you're competing against a video game, right? Spider-Man the game, and usually they all stink. Like all
yeah.
these video adaptations were just bad back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you're gonna stop buying some Spider-Man comic books drawn by like, I don't know, Tom McFarlane or something like that, or like Eric Larson or like Mark Bagley, and like put those down to go buy Spider-Man the game for Genesis,
Yeah. No. No. No.
which is like ass. Now it's a different story, you just can't you can't just like rest on your laurels now. There's a lot of visual competition out there from video games, movies, TikTok.
Hmm.
I will say this: back in the day, though, they didn't know their demo. They still were competing with the same demo. In fact, I was looking the other day of video like ads that used to appear in old comic books. They were video game ads, and the video game ad was always like some, I don't know, the typical like kid on a skateboard, trying to be radical, like Bart Simpson or something.
Right.
That was the demo, you know. Some young dude who's like, I don't know, into action, or young people, I should say, that are now. It seems like the comic books of today have kind of seeded the ground. They're like, they're all playing video games. Let's go after some kind of, I don't know what the target audience is now. I would love them to tell me what is the target audience for comic books now. They used to like anime and manga.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the breakdown of like who are the biggest manga readers. Like if they actually narrow down the demographic of what that person looks like, what would be number one, number two, number three? I have a feeling that it's got to be shonen manga. I don't know.
I would think so.
Like there's a lot of manga out there for different, like, I don't know, age ranges and groups and demos, but I think like if they said, okay, you cannot do shonen manga, like there was like some weird law that said you couldn't, the industry would just fall apart. It'd just be like a giant hole there that could not be filled or something.
Right. Now I wonder. I have
because some of these comic books now are talking about politics and
Yeah, yeah.
things that, like, I don't know, these young people ain't trying to know about no politics. We saw the Justin Awad video. These people don't even know when the country was founded. They thought, we see
America
those
founded
man
in
on the street videos.
1995. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, we see those man in the street videos where, like, they can't even name 50 stars on the flag or something. Now, granted, if you don't know if there's 50 stars on the flag, maybe reading a comic book is too much for you too. Like, it's not like reading the Berenstain Bears, Like, you got to, like, have some kind of basic knowledge of life to understand a comic book.
You know,
But
it's
still, like, the themes and the subject matter, I don't know if it's like hitting these kids like that.
it's. I think it's a lot of things. Like I was trying to come up with an assessment in my head, right?
Right.
But
It's a very big topic for sure.
it's like it's too many things. One, it's all right. It's the content, like you said. Like they're putting all of this, political content. Comic books always been political. I know somebody's gonna say that.
Yeah, I know.
Uh, like whatever, bro. They're putting all this annoying like propaganda and stuff in their comic books. That's number one, and number two, they're not exactly delivering on the. Let's be fair. When we say comic books, we said mainstream comic books, but when we say mainstream comic books, we're saying superhero comic books from the big two spectacles. Now, the one thing that maybe why Japan doesn't have this problem
Mm.
is a lot of their, the games they're making over there, which their Mega Mans, their Resident Evils, their Devil May Cries, they are big on spectacle, but so is their manga, and they'll make sure to out spectacle their games.
Yes.
And the only games that can equal up to them is like spectacle wise was like DMC and like Bayonetta and probably a couple of other titles. Yo, American comics are not. American comics used to out spectacle their. Well, I mean, games weren't as crazy as they were back in the day, but you kind of got to keep it fresh. Now, if you're doing a comic book, if you're doing a comic book, you better make sure. If you're doing a superhero comic book, you better make sure your thing is like delivering as much excitement as like God of War.
Yeah.
Because if not,
Plus, they keep things. Uh, manga. They it's like a train. Like, they keep things moving. Like, the top artists don't look look different than, like, the top artists from, like, 30 years ago.
right?
You know. Meanwhile, a lot of the comic books now, the top artists are still the top artists from 30 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Who's drawing this? John Romita Jr. But let's see. Faith says kids don't read big companies' comics. Yeah, we're
There's no point to do
yeah.
so.
We're trying to figure out, can they change? Can it be better? You know what I'm saying? This ain't just a dump-a-thon stream. I guess it could be, but we're making comics too, so it can't be. I mean, we're not doing mainstream comics. I'm just like, they have the resources, they have the money, they have the connections, right? They know what's going on.
They're the ones who claim they got the juice, right? Except I
Right.
gotta open this comic book. I gotta open this comic book. See Peter come back from another dimension, only to see this nibber right now talk about he's the new husband. Or I can go play the game and watch Spider-Man in his black symbiote suit give somebody like 50 kicks to somebody's stomach and fling them up in the air and control it in real time with possibly a better story.
Right. And I've heard theories, like internet channels and stuff and the YouTube stuff, where it's like they'll say, okay, the reason why kids love comics is because it became too expensive for them. They're $5 an issue. They could read it, like, I don't know, in a few minutes or something, like, and then that's it. Meanwhile, if they get a video game, they'll play that thing for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And their parents can, like, give it to them, and they'll, like, shut up, and they're just like, play it, and then play it again online with their friends and all this. And so that maybe that's, I don't know. I'm just to think of the combo company's reasoning. Maybe they were like, well, then we'll just target adults because that grew up with it. and because they have disposable income because they're busy working like some corporate, I don't know, bean counter job, or some guy who's working in an office pushing papers in his like late 20s, early 30s, 40s, 50s at this point.
So, but
So
in
they'll just
doing
go after
that,
them.
they went after the adults, and the adults remember what comic books used to be like, and instead of giving us what we used to see in comics that got us excited, they decided to change the content because
Yeah, it's sort of like, and it's sort of like, I guess, yeah, it's weird. See, I guess they don't understand that even if the audience is older now, their audience is older now.
yeah,
They think that they want to
mature. They're trying
get
to
to theme.
mature with us or something.
Yeah, because like on the, like, adults also watch the news, so the news is also about like all this socio-political stuff, and
Or as Brina saying, the virtual signaling.
yeah, the virtual signaling. It's like
Oh, Di J's
that's
up here, by the way. Hey, what's up, Di J? But
and
yeah,
like the Uncanny X-Men. They're like, oh, you want to know about politics? Let's talk about Krakoa, and like them trying to form some kind of, I don't know, democracy or something. And it's just like, bro, I think like they don't understand that the adults that are buying the comic books still have the inner child
yeah.
of that Bart Simpson demographic archetype from the 90s. Like they're buying comics to escape the drudgery of real life and CNN
Instead, I
and the
gotta go read
media
it. It's like,
and the inflation and the whatnot. Like they're reminded of the inflation and the politics when they see that giant price tag every month when they walk in the store. It's like kind of weird. But I don't know, like I guess they could have still went after the youth
yeah,
if they gave them something that they maybe want to see. I know it's too expensive, but maybe they could take their collected editions, because they already bought, they already paid for all the artwork. They can collect it and throw it at a Target.
right.
But then I don't know. They also have to think about maybe the art styles of stuff that appeal to younger people than something that looks like some I don't know, refried film noir, like total, like I don't know. It's not like, I don't. It's not appealing to a child. Like, what I'm saying. Some guy who grew up with like manga and flashier art styles
Mm-hmm.
are not gonna, like, I don't know, read something that looks like their grandpa drew it or something. It's like them
They're
giving you
not reading.
vegetables instead of,
Oh, no disrespect to my man John over here, but
yeah. It's like different strokes for different folks, but you should have a variety. Like this could be for like the long term fan, and then you could have something else like devoted to maybe engaging a younger reader or something. And they try, but then they got to put the politics in, they got to put the agendas in, and even if you get an artist that can pull it off, they still have a character that's not vibing with their style, and then they don't give it the promotion, and then it just dies on the vine, and then they say, oh, it can't be too aggressive, it can't have guns, it can't have attractive people in it. It's like then it becomes, because that's, I don't know, evil or whatever. So then it just like kills the whole vibe, and then you just go back to what worked for older demo. That's it, and the cycle repeats itself.
yeah.
It's tough. Let's see what the chat has to say about this. This is,
Hold on. Let's see.
yeah. Brina says, I'm just now trying to get into more comics, more research to make my own.
But it's funny though,
Yeah.
because it's getting into more comics to make your own. If you weren't making your own, would you bother reading these comics?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I mean, I think we think about it ourselves too. It's like, is the demo for comics now just people who want to make them, and older people that are probably age out?
mm,
It's a question, like, it can't just be like art students buying comic books to make their own. It has to be like, I guess, get into like normie, like just people who like, I just read it and I I don't draw, I don't write. It's interesting.
Right.
What else we have? Faye says companies like IDW allow people to get into high positions who don't know anything about comics. Oh, what? Sorry, I can't read that. Hold on. It says.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, you could read it if you want.
Okay. Says companies like IDW. Oh, why does this thing scroll up? Sorry, yo. Companies like IDW allow people to get into high positions who don't know anything about comic books, how to successfully manage the output, like Heather Antos or Anita Sarkeesian with
Yeah.
gaming. Mm.
Well, I think what happens in the comics industry is that they sort of do the same thing over and over again, and the sales go kind of flat a little bit.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they then say, "Oh, how can I get the sales back up? How can I engage the youth? How can I get more readers coming in?" And then you have these consultants that say, "I know young people," and they are a young person usually,
Right.
and they're able to tell the older guys, the editor or the company, like what's going to sell, what's going to appeal to youth, what are they into right now. Like they're not like, and they tell them that, they're not like you, boomer or something. This is how it is or something. And then it's also validated by the media itself.
Right.
Because then they say, oh, we don't want like we got to get rid of all the characters and then make them younger, like more diverse people or something. And then they did it and then it didn't sell. But CNN, MSNBC, ABC News, Jimmy Fallon, I don't know, whoever, like told them it was also a good idea. So it's easy to get caught up in, I guess, these things if it seems believable to you in a
Right.
way. Like if you said, like, Sean, I think it's a good idea for you to go to this restaurant or something. And then like every one of your friends told you it was a good idea to go to that restaurant. And then you looked up online and all the reviews were mad dope. Like it was like, yo, this restaurant is great.
Right.
And then like some dude who you kind of know from like, I don't know, the neighborhood or something said, don't go to that restaurant, bro. That shit sucked. And you're just like, whatever, this guy's, I don't
Mm-hmm.
who knows about that guy. And then you go and it does suck. But it's like, how would you know? Like, and then you leave and then everyone's telling you like, what, you didn't like it? Are you crazy? I think you're crazy. Everybody loves it. It would take you like going there like a bunch of times to like be like, I ate there like 4 times. I don't know why I keep going back. Like, I think this does suck. I don't know. I think everyone's wrong but me. And it's like they tell you conspiracy theorists online and then they
Right.
try to find out you have other motivations, and it'll be like 10 or 12 years down the road before they discover like it was all a lie or something. Like, I mean, look, it's hard out here. What else we got?
Brina says, wait, what?
I'll read the Jorge Jimenez books if you made Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, we're going back to the
Yeah,
appealing
yeah. A
styles
lot
and
of
stuff.
times, yeah, like they never like put like the newer, I guess, styles that maybe like young people can get into
Right.
on big official titles. Like there has to be some kind of hierarchy. Spider-Man is the most popular, one of the most popular characters in the world. Give this guy a shot. Put him on Spider-Man. Don't put him like on a 4-issue miniseries.
It's funny. Speaking of that, like some things. Let me see if I could go get it on Twitter. Some things can work, and it's funny. I'm actually mean this in a comic way, but ironically, I'm going to bring up a game. Just give me one momento. What we got? All right, boom. Hold on, let me take this comment off.
Also, on the other thing, you're talking about IDW and all these consultant people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the other companies are doing it too.
Right.
They're all kind of similar, like in that way, like Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, Dark Horse. They're all kind of got that same vibe. So it's like you'd have to be have some kind of like, I'm gonna just like break away from the pack and do something completely different mentality. But it's like usually like people don't think that way. They just think like, well, if somebody else is doing it, they did it for a good reason.
Right.
So I'm gonna do it too. And everyone's afraid to like try something else in a way. Like look at Image. They created like the bombastic, big guns, pouches, you know, extreme style.
Right.
And I was looking at Rob Liefeld's Twitter, and he was going on like about the '90s and how people got it wrong, and it was actually an exciting time for comics, and he was having a great time making comics, and they shouldn't denigrate people trying to do like action adventure stuff that's in your face, you know, because it worked back then, it could work now, that kind of thing.
Right.
But the company he founded, Image, and I guess he doesn't have association with them like that anymore. But the company he founded is not doing that. The comic books look like, I don't know, more I guess more highly rendered ongoing issue versions of something you would find at the Small Press Expo in Portland, Oregon.
Mm.
Which is fine for the Portland, Oregon crowd, but I'm just saying it's not even like one book that's trying to be like Image past, but all their money came from doing the opposite of what they're doing now. So they could at least devote one book for experimentation. They can get Jorge Jimenez to do his own book at Image.
Yeah,
You write it, you draw it, you make it whatever you want, make it some action thing.
Brina just sent this to me. That's a pretty
Right.
dope cover.
Yeah.
Why didn't they get more guys in the vein like this? I don't know what I don't.
Yeah, I saw Roger Cruz. He's an artist from back in the day. He drew Robin. I
Mm-hmm.
guess he's drawing Robin now, and it's like Damian Wayne Robin.
Okay.
And look good. The guy's like 53 years old.
Huh.
But he should be like on a top book. I think like he should be like on like X-Men or like make it into something. He should be on Batman, the official Batman title.
Yeah. Well, here we go. This is another example. Now, this could be applied to comic books. Well, you were mentioning Roger Cruz and then Jorge Jimenez. This is a game that's coming out for like League of Legends or something, but they made a fighting game, right? And the funny part about this is, hold on, hopefully it's not too loud. Anyway. Oh, it's not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is not anime. This is not an anime style.
Right.
Sorry, it's having it's having super lag.
But it certainly is. I guess influenced by like Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear,
like
right? And stuff. So it's like when I say it's not an anime style, like it's anime definitely in the way that it's
Japanese.
the way it's shaded. Like the way it's shaded, but when you like if you go and look at the faces, they're not using a traditional anime face, which is fine because it still looks fire. So I guess I'm just saying that to say like, America it still has a chance if they don't want to like fully, I mean, Dan and I are different. Like we just
yeah, we're some culture appropriators.
Yeah, we
like,
culture appropriating. You know what I'm saying?
I saw the anime. I like the anime. I'm a simple man.
Right. But I'm just saying this to
Take what I like.
say,
Some other,
like you don't have to if you don't want to, as long as it retains its like youth.
Yeah, it has a youthful energy to it.
Right.
Comic books, American comics used to always have youthful energy, and even if you were an older person reading it, you appreciated that it still had youthful energy. Like maybe the writers could have like, they could be grown and adult and stuff and write compelling stories, because sometimes maybe a young person can't write a compelling story as someone who has more life experience.
Right.
But the subject matter, the characters, and the art style still have to have a youthful quality to them if you want to make, if you want to have a successful long-term business, right?
Right.
Making action-packed heroic entertainment. Like you got to try, like look, if there's no other ideas and you're just avoiding like progress and avoiding like cool stuff because it's an anime, it's not from your country or something. I mean, okay, but I think you should take good ideas wherever they come and then I mean, America was all about the appropriation. So
Oh
why
yeah.
you don't have to do anything, you don't have to if you don't want to.
No,
You
you
do
don't
whatever
have
you
to.
want. But if you're like actively avoiding it at all costs and you run a multi and you run some like huge comic book company, I'm just like, why? Because I would say they're like the crossover appeal to someone that would actually like buy a video game or read a manga or a comic book or watch an anime or a cartoon on whatever HBO Max. I would think that person has more of a crossover, has a chance to be a American comic book reader than an activist at Columbia University with
Yeah, I
nowhere to
don't
come
think
in life.
Miss Blue here is, no offense to
I
anybody blue
mean,
here, but
I mean, maybe they could, but not like superhero comics every day for the
no,
rest of their life.
no,
Like,
no,
I mean,
no. That's not a good
maybe they're not the
conversion
demo for
rate.
that. Yeah, you got to try something else, and they want to, but they'll buy the video game because it has more of a youthful energy than the comics that they're
and,
putting out.
and that's the problem. I guess the summary of it is the youthful energy that includes story concepts. That includes not to say like your storyline could be complicated, just
Yeah,
preachy. Like we don't have time for this. Hold on, I just thought I saw a question here. Who asked me what it was called? Was it you, Brina, or Faye? This game is called Project L. I would have showed more of it, but for some reason, my Twitter video is lagging. Yeah, it's League of Legends. It's a League of Legends fighting game. They decided to get into the fighting game arena with this one. I never played League of Legends. Isn't that a mobile only game though? I mean, I liked Arcane and this looks cool, but I'm not. I don't think they're not gonna get me to play their mobile game.
yeah. Brina says, "I just don't want to see a bunch of dead on manga looking shit from American companies because they're trying to appeal to the manga crowd, like that one Catwoman animated movie."
Yeah, that looked weak. A little. I don't even say it looked bad. It just looked like I don't. I can't explain it. Like when stuff looked like fanime. I can't even directly describe it to you. It's just something that like I see it and I'm just like eh. But yeah, like a style like this is fine. This is fire. I don't know. They got the effects. They got. I think I forgot the artist's name. I think this is I'm gonna mispronounce his name, so I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, but this is cool
Like I
stuff.
remember in the '90s, in the early 2000s, they had tried to have the manga verse. Remember that in comics,
Oh God, I remember.
and it was just straight up like I don't know them trying to mimic Japanese tropes
Yeah.
and art styles. It was like it was like some kind of a fan art versions of
I always hate that. It's like when they had what's
and
that
they called it the manga verse too. By the way, it was like really corny.
when they had that what was that movie Batman Ninja, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I hated that.
and I'm just like, all right, we like the art style, but it's like why you had to be a ninja too? Like he had to be a ninja because because it had a Japanese art style from Madhouse Studios. Like,
The storyline was so. It wasn't even that. Forget the ninja stuff. Like they put him into a medieval. Excuse me. Ancient Japanese setting, and then they did proceeded to introduce every anime trope known to man. Big robots for no reason, and I'm like, I thought
yeah,
this was ancient. It was very annoying. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I guess in summary, there are multiple reasons why like stuff like gaming and movies does not have to. does not have to overshadow comic books. They should exist in their own realms, but I maybe it's not that they're. I just wrote up the direct correlation, just thinking about like their adaptations, but beyond their adaptations, like gaming is just kicking uh comics butt. But I don't know if that is fair to say since they occupy two separate realms. But I just don't think they have that problem in Japan. And even when they do have their adaptations, you know what it is too? I think like the adaptations of like manga in Japan, the game adaptations are kind of weak.
Yeah.
Like if you compare Spider-Man the game to like a Naruto game is not on the same level. Like clearly they put like millions of dollars into the Spider-Man
Yeah,
series and millions
for
of
sure.
dollars into Arkham series. I mean, I heard Avengers was trash. And what something else was trash, like Gotham Knights or something like that.
It's a lot of hard decisions that had to be made because, you know, we try to live in like this world where like all the art styles are their own unique little thing or something. But as we read in our live stream a few days ago, the retailers are upset because there's no cool style or artist that they're pushing at the moment to bring in sales. And I guess they say like art doesn't matter. It's like the story, and any jobber can just do whatever. But there's too many of that going. There's too much of that going on nowadays, and there's no one to bring it in. Now they don't know who's good. They don't know who's great. Maybe they can get somebody from the past to draw it, but who has some flash or some pizzazz. But
Right.
it's sort of like we're living. It's like mainstream comics operating in this rudderless situation right now, where like they don't know what direction they want to go in. The '90s at least had a direction, whether they liked it or not.
Yeah.
You know, but here it's like there's this. It's just look respectable.
I'm.
Um, try not to rock the boat. At best, at worst, it's like some kind of political screed in the comics or something. Brina says it's not just the art style of manga that people like; it's the everything of manga. Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you just can't draw like the face and then have like booty action, like whack action, and you just can't have like no story and stuff, or just like you know, I don't know. It depends. I don't know. See, no one. See, the thing is, we're talking here. We're talking here. The chat is talking.
Mm-hmm.
But the people with the money, the actual like
Yeah.
comic companies that can actually do
The big.
surveys for this stuff,
Yeah. The big two in them.
the big two and their parent companies, Warner Brothers and Disney,
Mm-hmm.
they can actually like put together some bucks and like have some surveys and do some demographic research on like what Americans, if what how would you buy this Spider-Man comic book? What is keeping you from buying this Spider-Man comic book? And they can ask questions and figure it out.
I'm gonna
If
tell
it
you.
looked like this, would you buy it? If it read like this, would you buy it? Would you buy it with this superhero team of writers and artists versus this team of superhero writers and artists? Like I don't see that going on. Like even in a survey,
They definitely need new writers and probably
they
new artists.
they could
Ah,
run like Twitter surveys or something. I don't know, anonymously through like a third party, and then use the research results to find out what's going on. Or they could just watch the YouTube channels
yeah.
and they'll tell you, because everybody likes everything different.
Hey, I got a gaming and comic book correlation for you here on why this is not buttoned up. There's a game series y'all might know. I think it's called Bayonetta, right? And in every one of these games, well, I've only played the first one, but I've seen the cutscenes of the second and the third. And what do those games feature? Now I'm getting juvenile for a second. Just for a point, they got Bayonetta running up walls, slicing a building in half. She throws the building. You know what I'm saying? Into the villain. The villain like punches it, and they go at it on like the craziest feats of superheroes you ever seen. You know where we also saw that? X Force when it was drawn by Rob Life.
Yeah,
Do you see that today?
it's like they need like whatever the new guy equivalent of Rob Liefeld is or something. I know like younger people wouldn't understand like why those styles were like the bomb necessarily. Maybe I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, style wise, right?
Although
they
it's been so
wouldn't get
long,
it.
but but maybe they would. I don't know on some level. I can't really say. I can't really say either way. But I will say they need that kind of energy for today.
Right. I mean, if it looked like this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They need something. I don't know. Something's got to go down where they're like, like how like in rock music you can see who the new equivalent of somebody from the past was. Like
hmm
like Gene, like Alice Cooper. Who's the new version of that? It was like Marilyn Manson. Who was the next version of that? I don't know. I don't even know who that next version of that was, but you got to get the point, right?
right.
You can see like for every generation there's a new version of that dude, like Madonna, and then it was like I don't know Britney, and then it was like Lady Gaga, and then after that it's some other girl. I don't know. Like you can see like there's always like a new version of that.
hmm
Like who's the new version of like Tom McFarlane now? Who's the new version of like Rob Liefeld now? Who's the new version of Mark Silvestri now? Like who's that guy? The retailers are calling for him or her, and I guess they had according to them that person has not emerged. And if they emerge, maybe they're not taking they're not curated enough in the mainstream. Like you have like Brina mentioned the artist in the chat.
hmm
Was it Jorge Jimenez? He could be the guy maybe. But instead they got him like one around drawing Super Sons. And I mean Super Sons is a good book, but I'm like, he could be drawing Superman and doing like Dragon Ball fights. So
You could.
I don't know. He could be doing
Uh,
something.
you can keep talking.
But
I'll be right. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
and what Faye says here, nope, not happening. That's where indie comics have them beat. Yeah, because you just do whatever you want. There's no rules. There's no editor to tell you can't draw this or reduce that, or you just do whatever you want. That's why in the beginning we just in the title we limited to mainstream comics. I guess like anything that shows up in the actual stores. Like I'm not talking about like web comics in made to order or any of that stuff because it's a different ball of wax. The one thing these mainstream comic companies have is that they have an operating budget or something and investors, but I don't know. I don't know. I think they're just afraid to try new things, and the comics are just expensive. That whole thing is like, because why would somebody experiment with their money if it's like, damn, this thing's gonna cost me like $5. I can only get one comic out of this whole store. I mean, you buy 10, and then like I don't know if you wanted to buy like 10 comics, that's the equivalent of buying a video game. Just wait another week and have the money paid out.
Oh, sorry.
Also, I would say this: like, look, what did you show me here? You're showing me a trailer for this?
Oh no, I was just showing that earlier.
Yeah,
Just to
yeah, I
say,
saw it, but that's a trailer,
yeah, that's the
according to you,
trailer.
right? Where are the trailers for these comic books? Like, I mean, like, I know it's like tough to make a trailer that looks like that to the equivalent of a comic book, but they could try. I mean,
I mean,
they have like Cap Cut, they got Luma Fusion, they got Toon Boom, they got a lot of time in their hands to like be on Twitter. You can make an animation for your comic book, right? To promote it. Maybe if they did that for Spider-Man, the comic. I mean, not this storyline with Paul, but like
yeah.
an ideal situation, they'd have like a cool team together, and then they do some trailers for it, try to get you into the lore a little bit.
I
Because
mean,
some of these companies just like buy my book. That's it.
we're trying to do that. Dan's made like I swear, like made like probably what 3 to 7 different like clips and
No, I didn't
trailers.
make. I don't make 7, but I made a few. I made a few in my time.
You made a
I'll
good
tell you that.
few, and I'm trying to
And
plan.
not that long, but hey, I'm one
Right,
guy. But
I'm trying to
yeah.
plan something in my head right now for both our titles where, I'm like have like time lapses, close ups of my hand drawn with very mild animation clips. Like maybe somebody turning their head or something like that. Um, but and that's the thing. We, this man and me, are two people trying to plan that out. How not? Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I didn't look on YouTube to see if they had any trailers, but I feel like they did not that many for a company being funded by Disney. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Disney dollars coming
Um,
through here, but
Rena said Yasmin Pucci. I'm not familiar with that. Simone Demio, yeah, art is freaking insane. I would watch a whole animated series with the same art style as that. They need to get on that. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at let me see something here. Let me show you. Like this is all right. And messages, I guess you can put up the now loading screen or something.
yeah,
But I sent you a pic of and just because your youth have youthful energy doesn't mean you have to be a youth necessarily. Because this man, Roger Cruz, is I think 53 or in his 50s right now.
let me see, bro,
You know, you're only as young as you feel.
bro.
And my man is still drawing like this. This is the latest issue of Robin over here.
Yo, what my man is like, son? Look at this. Look at
The
this.
page. My man got the lead on the paper right now.
I'm about to hold on. I'm about to take this into Procreate just so I could darken it a little bit.
It's like, man, I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't know. We should have a stream where we make up our own like creative teams for these books based off of people who are working right now in the industry.
Word.
I'm gonna set up the dream team and like who should be drawing. Like you pick the top like I don't know 4 books of the industry of each company, Marvel and DC, and say which guys should be the next jam, and then maybe like all the other artists could just like make animated promos for to promote that comic book or something,
Right.
something like that. It's like a fantasy football thing.
Oh wait, that's not
Just
what
have
I'm
to do
looking for.
brightness contrast on here because
Yeah, I
you have to do
know.
curves. You try curves,
Where is that? There
the
we
third
go.
one down, and then like that body. Yeah, no, well, no, not that one. Not that one either.
Oh, I had to
Like
do
start
gamma.
over.
Stuff. Yeah, let me stop. My bad.
All right, you see the well, no, not that.
Okay.
Just start over again. All right, you see the thing on the well, not, get curves back. The little circle on the lower left hand
Yes.
corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like just move that to the right, not up down, just to the right. Is it working?
Oh yeah, you're right. Um, excuse the hold on. Excuse the come on thing. There's a delay on the but yeah, this is pretty insane.
Yeah,
Damn, Roger Cruz still got it, bro. Yo,
yeah, my
man,
man's
drawing
got it.
mad hard, bro. Like I'm can't
Yeah, it's
even.
like he's trying.
It's shit hurts to look at. Like I can't even.
a lot going on. I mean, it's drawing for his life. Also, some of the coloring on these books of to like let the art breathe.
Yeah.
But
This
yep,
panel right here is killing me.
yeah, he's still doing it. Still doing his thing.
Brina said they gotta stop catfishing with these fire ass covers and these booty butter. Brina, that's a
True,
problem that's existed in comic books for like eons.
but still, they gotta stop doing that though. Like at least back in the day, they'd have a guy in the interior, and that would be like he'd be the man.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, Jim Lee wouldn't need a variant cover. Who would variant cover him? Like if he's the interior guy, he's the exterior guy too.
Diet J said I didn't know you could do that. Procreate. Yeah, you could. Um, you know what? All right, so I don't know. I guess we've dissected this, but yeah, American comics. I don't know. Get excited, make some true trailers. Uh, eh, do some of the stuff that they're doing in games, in the books again. You know, like you used to do in the '90s. I don't know what to tell you. Like, Wolverine is about to have a new game coming up by Insomniac, the guys who made Spider-Man. I'm guessing that's going to be fire too. But in the comic books, my man is drinking a latte. Maybe you might want to switch it up. Maybe you might want to not have well, I don't know if Wolverine is virtue signaling, but I'm sure there's virtue signaling stuff going around him if he's still even alive, or is it all Laura now? I don't even know what's going on in these books. Ain't no Laura video game, bro. This ain't no X-23 video game.
No.
There is a Wolverine one though. So I'm gonna do something unorthodox, and I'm gonna do the showcase, and then we'll do our last one.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, we'll do the showcase now, and then we'll get
yeah,
into our last story.
the last stories are gonna be quick, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it, but it's still interesting nonetheless.
All right. What we got here? What we got going on? That was from last week, right? Yes, that was from last week. And we saw that Brina drawing the hands. Brina drawing the boob. So I gotta respond back to a comment. They thanks me for not drawing the uniboob on
On what?
on the biking picture that I posted up in the community tab.
You got someone? Oh, in the YouTube,
Yes.
they thanked you for not drawing the unit. I guess it's a pervasive problem that if anybody doesn't do it, they get props. It's a widespread issue.
Right.
They're afraid. People are afraid out there. They're afraid to draw because there's editorial consequences.
Right. Did we do this one? No, I guess we didn't. We'll start here with Batman by my boy Mr. Figs, who I need to get back into these chats.
Yeah, this is Dark Knight Batman,
Yep.
looking bloody and bruised. It's looking legit.
Just looking pissed off. That's pretty cool. We got Damage over here. You got his animal characters. Animal Warriors. Susagi Ojimbo. Nah, no kidding. Pretty cool. We got Shaquan verse. Huh. Can still see them out through it.
Is
Mask.
that's like Shaquan versus like the multiverse of Shaquan,
Oh, maybe.
his own universe.
Can I have the Sean verse? Like
The Sean verse.
just like the lowest verse
Look up
that's
there.
happening in the
I think we saw that one last week, but it looks really good. So we'll show it again. Thank you, Shaquan.
Oh, did we
Looks
see it
good.
last week? Yeah, you might be right. I might have gone too far back.
All right, you got the Punisher. I guess this is
We-
Frank Castle.
Right. Original
He's
Punisher.
now somebody else now. He's some
Yeah.
new dude.
I forgot what that dude is. Oh, dude, his name. We got my man
That looks good though.
GJ.
Yeah, you got
GJ,
GJ.
right? Drawing stuff that, should be in an
How about
art
this?
book.
Yeah, no one. We find him all the artists. Like, where's these recruitment centers over at Marvel and DC? They ain't got them guys.
They
I'll
don't.
be like, hey, this is a dope pinup. You want to like, I don't know, show me some sequentials or something, and then you can work on this X Force or something. They don't think like that. It's just like, I don't know. Don't call us, we'll call you. Situation going on right here.
Right. We got my man Cam Bamzilla. He's doing that. There's a shootout going on. So my man got an action scene with some cowboy looking dude.
Yeah, it's like some office.
Right.
So maybe it's like some guy who went postal in his office. He couldn't take it anymore.
And my man got to take him out right now.
Right, exactly. They called him in to like take out this guy, like freaking out because they wouldn't replace the copy machine, and they made him work on too many Sundays.
GJ here says I finally bought myself a PC. Now I can use Photoshop and add a million layers. Well, he always want see Jay is funny because he unlike me where I trying to lower the layers and I guess Brina may be doing the same. He want to up the layers. He want he
You
want
need more layers. More layers. I say with more layers, you can go like just crazy
no, that is
and
true.
do 18 different experiments and stuff. It can get wild if it gets out of control, but it's more like having room, like all like studio space
Right.
to just try anything, dump anything, have 5 different versions of the original pencils
Right.
in one file and stuff, and just go nuts.
Here we have Mr. Domestic. I believe new to the Discord.
Mr. Domestic is right.
Doing this. My man doing a stretch. You gotta always make get sure to get y'all stretches in before you exercise. Don't hurt
That's
yourself
true.
out there.
That's true.
Look like a color pencil here. Oh, it's probably not color pencil. It's probably the blue pencil.
Yes, the blue pencil, the non-photo blue pencil.
Yes.
All right.
Got Black Blur Art Man right here.
DJ says, "I wish I could contribute to that conversation, but I literally don't read comics ever."
I mean, why would you though?
Yeah,
Mm,
it's like they have to create a need within people to like want to jump back into that hobby and stuff.
right.
This is yeah, this is looking legit. It's very
Yeah.
happy, very colorful. Thumbs up. Is this an original character?
It
Is there like a
might.
description to this?
No.
Oh, if people want to like shout out their own characters, like tell us like who they are and like this is for like this is my OC, this is my story.
Right.
They could do that, and we'll read it on here.
Yeah.
Get some promo for your characters or whatnot. Unless it's a character that's already
Established.
established. I don't know. It might be.
Damage here says finished personal piece from my Twitch channel's previous character design challenge. Yeah, he be having character design challenge. Interesting. Man, that's is that a mouse?
With the
A
scythe,
rat. Yeah,
he's
he's a
like
rat.
I
This
guess
this character still looks more appealing than Splinter from
the mutant mayhem.
yeah.
Yeah, go for gruesome styles nowadays for the kids. I wonder if any kids were afraid of like any of those characters.
Maybe.
I'd be freaked out by that Roach character. I'd be like, I can't watch this cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this
Do
is
this
legit.
Shaquanverse doing their thing.
What's the words on there? What's he say?
I said still working on this character. It said C2 or is that C squared? This will be on my 40. This will be 47 on my 1 billion on my way to 1 billion characters.
He's on 1 billion characters.
Right.
It's a lot of characters.
Then
JVP is here. Yo,
hey,
what's up, JVP?
What's up? What's up?
Just checking out the showcase.
Jay's posting more. Oh, look at that breakdown.
That's a good breakdown. Damn.
Oh, Brina, I saw Brina posted this today. Said this background did this background about 2 years ago. I was practicing for an animated short film series that I still have on the back burner.
It looks like a legit background though. Like you could put like it looks like a animation cell. They would like pop in the actual character movement, like somebody running towards the camera.
Right.
It's a good skill to have. You can also use that approach. You can use the approach for your original trailer for when your book is complete. You can do like trailers and stuff if you have the animation skill set. That would be cool to see.
And now here we have the last one from Black Blur once again.
Okay. Is this an OC or?
Let's see. He just said, "What are y'all thoughts?"
Oh, we like it.
Cam Vanzellis had some thoughts. He said, "Make the background darker blue."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess he's right for contrast, but it's still pretty good. And there you have it, folks.
All right, there you go. Good showcase. Good showcase. Now, for our final story, it's a story of I guess necromancy or something, because someone has returned
from the dead,
from the grave.
Rise from your grave.
It's actually a very interesting Lil Tay. I'm not dead. That's TMZ reports. Now, originally TMZ reported Lil Tay has died.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of crazy. Like, I mean, last night after the stream,
they didn't report like what you call it, cause of this death or anything like that.
No, it was like it was an Instagram post that says, "Oh, that they were her management or whatever saying that it's been reported that that it's been discovered that
I'm still here, by the way.
if she and her brother have passed away or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's unfortunate. And every story picked this up. New York Post, I think New York Post talked about it, or Entertainment Tonight, I think, put up a YouTube thing about it, and
Right.
it was reported that she was dead. She used to hang out with that influencer, Whoa Vicky or something. And she just said R.I.P. Lil Tay, and so I was like, "Oh, is she really wrapped up? Is it?" Like, but other people were doubting it. They were like, "No, not true." Like, were the parents? And then there was another report saying that the Vancouver police were not investigating this case, and they don't have any reports about her death.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what's that mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to look into this or something? And now suddenly she's not dead. Now, for people who don't know, and Lil Tay is at 9 years old. This was like maybe like 5 years ago or something. She made a series of viral videos,
Yes.
holding up big money and big cash and going into like big houses saying like, "Yo, I'm the biggest flexer of the century. I make money. Everyone else is a biatch," stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was
Normal 9-year-old behavior.
right screaming into the camera and a cell phone. She had the biggest TikToks, the biggest, I don't know, Instagram posts of the year or whatever, hanging out with XXXTentacion, who's now dead, by the way.
Right.
And I think she was trying to like make some music until like her parents shut the whole operation down. And her brother was like the one, I guess, feeding her the lines of what to say and whatnot, and how to
Right.
go viral and stuff. And it was very controversial because she was like 9 years old and she started getting a beef with Bad Baby and stuff like that. And they were like, little kids shouldn't be doing this. And eventually, like, I don't know, they had some interview on Dateline or Nightline or 2020 or something like that, saying like, "Oh, this is wrong," and the parents were like, "Yeah, this is wrong." So she went off the internet for like years, and then suddenly yesterday, it was just an Instagram post on her, I don't know, defunct, non-updated Instagram page,
Yeah.
saying, with a new post saying she's passed away, and then the internet was like, "Holy shit, that's
Yeah.
not good.
So I guess we'll
That's
pick
sad."
up from here.
But now she's alive. Social media personality Lil Tay is very much still alive, claiming her Instagram account was compromised and used to spread jarring misinformation about her and her brother's death. In a statement provided to TMZ and Tay's family, she tells TMZ, "I want to make it clear that my brother and I are safe and alive, but I'm completely heartbroken and struggling to even find the right words to say. It's been a very traumatizing 24 hours. All day yesterday, I was bombarded with endless, heartbreaking, and tearful phone calls from loved ones, all while trying to sort out this mess." How old is she now? She's got to be like 14 or something.
Yeah, 14, I believe.
You know, it's a lot to take in. You get calls saying you're dead. Are you dead?
Right.
She also says, "My Instagram account was compromised by a third party and used to spread jarring misinformation and rumors regarding me, to the point that even my name was wrong. My legal name is Tay Tien, not Clear Hope."
Mm.
At 14, were you using like words like jarring misinformation?
No, no, I wasn't. But
I don't know. Are these kids built different nowadays? Well, she's in a different situation right now. It's probably
right.
some kind of press release. They can use Chat GPT to help them write these statements nowadays. So,
Yeah.
Tay says, Tay thanks Meta for helping her to get her Instagram account back, and the phony death statement has been removed. What's still unclear is why it took Tay 24 hours to get the word out she's alive, especially since she says she was aware her account was hacked and was getting phone calls about her death. On Wednesday, TMZ contacted police in the Vancouver area, as well as family members who were totally in the dark and knew nothing of her passing. Now we know why. Well, maybe because she's like 14 years old and a kid, and she doesn't know, like, she don't got those kind of contacts anymore, like to be like calling up TMZ and like
Right.
unconfirming her death and having proof of life. Her holding up like the recent newspaper with the date on it. Like, she don't know anything about that. She's probably like concerned about with Meta trying to get her Instagram account back. They probably told her to get like some ID, and she's like only 14 years old and stuff. So she probably had to run over, get her birth certificate or
Right.
something, I don't know, within 24 hours to prove that she's alive. So maybe she was preoccupied with that.
Perhaps. Oh,
Yeah,
this is a very strange story. It's
yeah.
for she.
Others are saying like this is a stunt and she did it herself. Like she just to get everybody's attention and maybe
Does
she'll
she
drop
have
some
like
new
the
album.
mastermind brain to be doing that?
I don't know. She's been away for a while, so it's like, why would you come back like this? It's like, I guess you could try it, but it's like, I know J says he says, I know that post was cap. It was mad fish.
Yeah, I don't know what was.
Yeah. William says it's a PR company. This is a stunt. Brina says, I use those words at 14 years old.
Oh well, there you go.
There you go.
I mean, realistically, we just talked about it because it's like kind of hilarious. Not much to say on it though. I'm like, she was
No.
dead, and then she was.
Yeah. I mean, like she was like saying some like spicy stuff on some earlier
Oh yeah,
videos, using gamer words and
right,
certain things you can't say unless you're a member of that kind of ethnic community.
right.
And then people online were like saying like, yeah, she used them words, so I don't care if she like,
Oh, I've seen those. I've seen those, and I'm like, guys,
see what happened to her. And it's like, yo, she was like 9 years old. She was like a kid, bro.
like she
Like,
was 9, and children are repeating what they are being fed information wise,
right. And
and
she's like,
you're
and if she
coming
died
at
at 14, it's like, oh, that's a tragedy, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
people are crazy.
DJ says, I heard her YouTube channel caption said, help me. I think this is a stunt, not gonna lie. It might be. I don't
Hmm.
know. You can see. I mean, she had an inactive account with the same password. Maybe it was just hackable.
Yeah,
3.3 million people. That's a big get for like a hacker. That's like they would love to get that. And maybe it was gettable. I don't know. Old management team had the password, maybe giving it to other people.
that could be it.
These things float out when you got a big team around you. These things get out. They're like, oh, let me try
Yep.
and see if she changed the password. Oh, it hasn't changed it in 5 years. Okay, now it's time to have some fun.
Yo, imagine doing a react and draw for this. It would just be like, I don't know, Lil Tay like holding up mad bills, talking about I'm still alive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still
I'm
alive.
not going to draw that, by the way. I don't. Lord have mercy.
Popping out the, I don't know.
Popping out the money bin.
Yeah.
Some Scrooge McDuck joint.
Popping out the casket. No, I'm just kidding.
I still. Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, that'd be kind of morbid though.
But yeah,
Maybe she'll resurface one day when she's of age and can, I don't know, kind of work on her rapping skills for the next 6 years
right.
or
Anyway,
4 years, I guess you want.
y'all. Before I get any more exhausted, your boys got to retire to recharge, as they would say. But
But thanks for coming by.
yep, yep.
If you like the channel, like the video. It helps the algorithm, helps YouTube. Let us know we're around, we're alive. Promotes the channel, promotes the stream.
Oh, and
Check out our
also
book. Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
be updating the Discord links. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut on you. Definitely check out our book,
yeah.
redcomic.com. Uh, Brina, you don't have to bother using that one. I have a new one. But thank you though, thank you. Because I did make a permanent link. So if you're not part of our Discord, I would suggest going to the for now until I have everything fully changed, I guess, on all the videos that we ever did. Go to the community tab, the very last picture I did, which should be biking from Guilty Gear. Yeah, that has the code that you'll need to use to get into our Discord.
All right. So you got to check the community tab. You will find our Discord link.
Yep,
And
it's right,
Sean will be
right here.
updating the Discord accordingly. Yes, check it out. Very
So,
good picture. Very nice.
thank you, thank you. But yeah, that's the real link right there. Oh, Brina has one that should work. Oh, well, Brina's a genius.
Yeah. So I guess if you're watching this right now, pop in on there
Yeah.
in the chat link. But we're going to be wrapping up. Yes, check out our book, redcombo.com. And it helps support the channel.
Yeah. I have some We have a couple things. I have a couple things. You know, Danny's doing some promo art for Red. If you guys want to, you know, as far as what's going on with us artistically, have a comic book that's gonna be uh, well, it's you know you'll see it when we announce it. Also, Dan's working on you know Red Volume 2 that would also be announced. A lot of trailers coming up for that soon, and yeah, I have a music comic that I'm doing in collaboration with my boy JVP. If he's still in the chat, that's coming soon as well. And what else is coming soon? Oh yeah, I have a practice page of Red that I'm doing, so that should be fun.
Most definitely. Yeah, check us out on Twitter. Check out the links in the description.
Yep.